We used to get the free lunch tickets because my family didn't have very much money, so I'd get free lunches at school. I get made fun of. I vowed that I'm going to do stuff and be free, and I'm going to help people not feel that way. If I can help you control your calendar 100% of the time because you do this full time and you're free, I love that. So watching people see that they can do it where they used to overthink. I have a guy on my phone right now, and he left me a voicemail 4 months later. He goes, hey, closed 5 transactions, made this amount of money, kept 2 of them like you taught me to do. He's like, hey, I'm full time, thank you. So that's the reason I do it.
Welcome and thank you for joining us for today's episode of Disruptors, where millionaires are made. Today we have Jason Paliser with No Flipping Excuses. And Jason flew in from St. Petersburg, Florida to talk about how to buy thousands of houses if your life depended on it. Now, guys, I am on a mission to create 100 millionaires. The information on the show alone is enough to help you become a millionaire in the next 5 to 7 years. If you'll take consistent action, you will become one. And if you're already a millionaire, we want to recognize you here on the show. So please scan that QR code on the screen so we can highlight you on the show. If you're not a millionaire yet, you can still scan that same QR code and we'll see if we can help you get there just a little bit faster. And before we jump in, if you're here to learn how real entrepreneurs are building real empires, make sure you hit that subscribe button because every week we're dropping lessons that can help you create your first or next million. And the last thing before we start is our AI Lead Manager is now up and running. If you want to hear what our AI Lead Manager sounds like, text AI Caller to the phone number 33777. That's AI Caller 33777. You ready?
I'm ready to roll.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I've heard nothing but great things about you, but this is actually the first time we've met face to face.
I know. It seems like we would have met sooner, right?
We run in the same circles. So before we get into, we're talking about how to buy thousands of houses.
Yeah.
Let's start off with what was your life like right before you got into real estate?
So before I got into real estate, it was pretty simple. I didn't know what I wanted to do, quite frankly. Graduated from high school. My friends were some of them were going in the military. I'm like, well, my parents, they're hardworking people. They hadn't gone to college. So I was like, oh, I'll just join the armed forces. And my dad caught wind of it, kidnapped me, folks, and took me up to Mizzou and said, nope, you're going to college. So I did that. He put me in classes I didn't want. So I settled on finance because I like finance and stuff like that. So I graduated there and went straight into banking.
Got it.
And so my path to get to where we're sitting now started with me getting a degree in finance, went straight into banking, brokering. And what I quickly realized was that I loved investment funding. And so I became an investment funding specialist. I made it my business to know every weird program that there was to get investors' properties financed. So then some of the Kiyosaki's and TV shows originally hired me for, hey, show our people how to get funding when they think they're stuck. But what I quickly realized, and then what I always jokingly say, I went to the dark side and became an investor because they're making more money, right? Was that every time they would high-five me when I would leave a closing, they'd be making 50 grand. And I'd leave the closing with 3 grand. And I'm like, this doesn't feel equitable here. And so I was like, well, I have all the funding. Why not dip into real estate investment? So I kind of went.
So you already sourced the capital.
Correct.
Like you already knew how to fund their deals.
Yep.
So they had the deals.
Yeah.
You brought the money from other investors, I imagine. Other cash investors?
Yeah. Cash investors, everything. Regular bank financing, everything.
And for all that effort, you got $3,000.
3 grand.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is, some of these guys that are funding these deals, they're making only a few hundred. So
true. Very true.
You're doing well there. But yeah, you can see on the other side what's going on.
Correct.
And you got curious.
Yeah. So what happened was I got curious and I'm like, you know what? What's the worst that can happen, right? So I was like, I know how to get funding for deals, so I can look at a potential deal and say, okay, I know what the numbers look like. So I felt okay with that. And then I started investing and made a few mistakes getting started, just like everybody else does. Yeah. But then I started to do, the value, you help other people, they help you. That's the way I kind of view things. I was like, hey, I've helped you fund 40 deals. Can you show me how you did that lease option? Because I tried to do a flip and it's not working out. So I saw the value in starting to learn those things. And then, as I said, as I started doing both, I was doing 50 loans a month. I was closing some deals. The Kiyosaki's and some of these other companies say, hey, show our people how to do it. And then they transitioned me into all aspects of real estate because one of the directors came up and said, hey, you showed the students that you closed 23 closing statements last month. I go, that's correct.
Mhm.
And they're like, how did you do that? And I'm like, well, now that I'm a part of the real estate investment sandbox, I see the value in getting to off-market properties first. So I go, I've been fine-tuning that for 6 years. So then they had me start, as you know, start teaching everything. So that's kind of been my journey through time.
You start off as funding investments.
Yep.
See that, interact, connect with your clients who are
Mhm.
using you for funding.
Correct. Yep.
And then you're basically learning from them along the way.
Yep. Yeah. So some of them were buy and hold. Some of them I would do private money or hard money for their fix and flip properties. Some of them, hey, Jason, just give me some bridge financing. I have another deal closing. I'm going to owner finance, all those different things. So I knew who was doing what.
Mhm.
And so as I started my journey and I ran into some of those situations that didn't fit my box that I knew, I was like, hey, could you show me the path here and show me how
Right.
this is done? So that's, yeah. So I learned from them. And then I saw the value in whatever they taught me. I'm like, there has to be 10 steps deeper
Mhm.
so that I can wake up with just bone crushing clarity. So I just kept going down that rabbit hole and I just didn't stop.
So you got paid to
Mhm.
learn from people that were doing deals.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean,
That's a pretty good spot to be in.
I thank my,
Yeah.
I rub a rabbit's foot every day. I'm like, I can't believe that. And back then, you're getting started and you're wide eyed. I'm like, are they really going to teach me their little wrinkle of real estate? And that's the other thing. It just kept unfolding again.
Mhm.
You could do a deal this way and this way. And I'm like, well, I want to learn more about that. And it just
When
cascaded
was
from
this
there.
approximately?
I would say from 1995, now I'm dating myself, 1995 to 2000, I started transitioning to more investment.
But 1995, 2000, like there was no YouTube, there was no podcast.
None of it.
There were books, but like who knows what was accurate, right? And like,
Correct.
for it to be mainstream and popular, that meant it wasn't good.
Correct. 100% correct. Yep.
So then you have to, so you were able to connect with like all of the right people, which is again incredibly fortunate because like the other way you can get paid to work, and I recommend this to people all the time, like you're brand
Yeah.
new, go work for someone that's doing deals.
100%.
Right.
Just, hey, can I be a fly on the wall? Can I take pictures for you? Can I do this? Can
Yeah.
I do that? I'll run documents to the title company. And I tell people the same thing every single day.
Yeah, but you got to actually interact with all the operators and see what their business looks like.
100%. And since I was a funding specialist and they're like, I don't know, I can't get this deal funded.
Mhm.
They would hand me a mess,
Mhm.
right? So they would hand me a mess and then I would do my best to figure it out. Most of the time I could. And developed relationships with title companies, said, can you do the transaction this way or this way? And then just
And you became a problem solver for
correct. Yeah.
$3,000.
Yeah. Embarrassingly to say, yeah, $2,000, $3,000. That's correct.
But the other thing that's great too, and this might be super nerdy here, but like
Mhm.
the fact that you're the money guy, you say, hey, show me this, show me that.
Mhm.
You're coming from a position of authority.
100%.
They have to show it to you. They can't be like, that's none of your business.
Correct. And well, you hit the nail on the head. They have to tell me because I've got to present it to the bank and the title company to make sure that it's going to go through. Otherwise, the time and effort they put in,
Mhm.
there's no fruit for their labor. So, having the funding was kind of like truth serum. So whether they wanted to 100% tell me or not, they kind of had to, so I could formulate that deal and make sure it got to the finish line.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Because
Yeah.
I've shared this before. Like one of the best places to get access to capital is loan officers
Mm-hmm.
because they know everybody's finances.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Okay. So then you went and you took this information and then you started doing deals while you're still doing loans.
Correct. Yeah.
And so you're doing double-digit deals while you're doing double-digit loans, is what I'm hearing.
I was spinning two very big plates. Yes, 100%.
How are you managing that?
So before all the CRMs and all that stuff, my brain works like an engineer. So I'm a process-driven human being. And so I would just map out the process and then I would give away a percentage of the deal. So what I found over the years and time, I'm like, hey, you can get to 7 transactions a month as an individual, but then you start hitting a wall.
Mhm.
And so I started mapping all those plateaus, and I'm like, okay, here's what it looks like when you hit 7 a month for 4 months in a row. We need to have one person doing this. Somebody needs to be a document runner for you, or this inside your organization. So I just incrementally put little people in place. And my philosophy was always to give them a percentage of the deal.
Mhm.
I certainly could have done it from a W-2 standpoint, but I'm a hardcore entrepreneur. I want them to have some skin in the game. So that's just kind of the way that I like to do it. And so I just put people in place over time. I got up to 4 or 5 people in my office that were helping me on the real estate investment sandbox stuff. And then on the funding stuff, I had probably consistently for well over a decade, probably 4 or 5 people. Cause like I went to this one place and they're like, hey, Jason's due here. And we lured him away from another bank.
Mhm.
And I go, just put me in a cubicle. I don't want, they're like, you're going to get this office. I go, no. I know what that looks like when you walk in
Mhm.
and they just give you a nice office. I'm like, I don't want that. I want to be in the cubicle for 90 days. And when I outperform everybody, then maybe I'll get an office down the road.
Mhm.
And so a couple of the people that I've known for 20 years now, they're like, you walked in from day one and there was 10 appointments a day.
Mhm.
Another investor, another investor, another investor.
Yeah.
And I just saw the beauty in getting good at the process. So I always preach, if you're good at so good at the process, so I like to preach, if you're so good at the process and you don't worry about the outcome, what I quote unquote call getting deals, because everybody's like, when am I going to get my first deal? I'm like, if you're just super phenomenal at the daily workflow and the process that produces deals, and that's all you care about, then you're going to put a lot of pressure on everybody else in the marketplace.
Yeah.
Because you'll consistently start getting to everything first. And I just saw the value in it. And I've been on almost a 25-year deep dive on just running that process like a machine.
Yeah. That's super impressive. And so then you said the TV execs asked you to start showing other people how you were doing deals. So like, don't fund deals anymore. Like, hey, show them how to do deals.
Yeah. So they're like, okay, you've exceeded expectations on the funding part of it. And they're like, you're at lunch showing people your closing statements bank. Hey, it's more fun on this side. I'm teaching you funding. And so then they say, hey, can you teach them flips for the weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Can you teach them rentals for the weekend? Absolutely. Can you teach them wholesaling? Mm-hmm. Sure. Lead generation. Then they had me create classes on lead generation because that's negotiations and lead generation are my 2 favorite things. So created classes on that. Then, as you may know, I created a real estate automation software company, built that up, sold it.
Yeah.
And private label by Kiyosaki, a few other people. Who's the other gentleman? Ron LeGrand. And so just kind of kept growing from there. They just said, hey, can you teach this? Can you do that? And I had fun doing that.
You're saying they're asking you. So we're talking about like students are asking you or the executives are asking you?
The execs, the director of education and programming for these different companies.
Got it.
They're like, hey, you're teaching it over there. I was smart enough way back when to not sign a non-compete. So I could teach for multiple places because I told them from the get-go, I don't need you. I'll just go close 50 loans a month and do my own investment deals.
Right.
So that's kind of what happened.
So you're
free agent kind of.
Yeah, free agent, mercenary. Like, you want to bring me in? I'll work with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like,
yeah,
I am a free agent and I can come and go as I please.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So
what are some of the organizations you worked with?
So brands that represented, as I said, Robert Kiyosaki, Flipping San Diego, Flipping Boston, outfits like that. They represented multiple TV shows. One of the jokes one time was, there was a group of, I don't know, 150 investors. I think it was a Vegas training. Came in from different places. They're like, I came from this TV show. I came from this. I want to learn from this show, that show. And you all ended up in front of me. And that
So you were the not the secret sauce, but you were the guy behind the scenes. Like,
yeah, I'm the guy behind the scenes.
yeah,
basically.
like these guys that are celebrities.
Correct.
Right. But if you actually want to learn it, like,
yeah, hey, you're going to learn from our experts when you, if you want to learn from our TV show personalities, we want you to work with our experts to get the transactions done. and they would end up in front of me, which was fun. I
That's
love
awesome.
like people that want to do this. Like my whole thing, you say you want to create, X amount of millionaires. Me too. I just say, I want to help people do this full time, period. I want you to quit whatever you're doing, control your calendar 100% of the time, do it full time, and just experience and feel what it looks like to run a deliberate, process driven. I do this, I get these opportunities, and I'll close these. I tried to retire a few years ago, and my family's like, go back to helping people, please. I'm like, let's go golf. They're like, we're still doing regular stuff. Just go back to doing what you're doing.
Which is a whole other conversation when you're talking about retirement. So you build out all these programs. You're teaching all these people. So what are, and I heard your name come up over again, right? The 2-day blueprint, right? And I had people like, hey, like, actually a couple times, they're like, hey, I'm trying to decide between 2-day blueprint and your program. I was like, okay, like you do whatever you want, right?
Yeah.
But you've been doing this for a long time. You've had a pretty long track record and a reputable record. So how many people do you think you've had come through between like all these conferences and so on that you've worked with?
At this point, dating myself again, 26 years, probably 30,000 investors.
Yeah.
All the way from new to experienced people. And I like the mix as well. So I would say about 30,000 investors. When you, as you well know, you do a training and set up infrastructure for people to start doing this deliberately. And you have new people, and then you have people that have been doing it 10 years. I love the new people because they do exactly, they don't have any what I call bad habits yet.
Right.
And so they'll do exactly what you tell them and just try and get their rhythm and forge their way, right? Yeah. The people that have been doing it a while, I love training them maybe 1% more than the brand new person, just because they've got all these preconceived notions. And then when you teach them a new way to do something, they've already been doing it a certain way for 15 years. Then they're like, I'm like, hey, most of you do this type of transaction, takes 7 steps. What if I can show you in 2? And then they like literally have a mind melt. They're like, I've been making this way too hard.
Yeah.
So I love the dynamic in the mix, but about 30,000.
Okay. And so I wasn't planning on talking about this, but since you've had the opportunity to work with so many people, one of the things that if you met a younger version of myself, I would have thought mindset was like nonsensical, right? Either you have it or you don't.
Yeah, correct.
But now in my older, wiser age, I do see the value in mindset. And so what have you found? Because like there are a lot of people in the education industry.
Yep.
And one of the sad realities is like it's just a super high failure rate of people that come into the program. And like you want to help everybody. Yeah. I've come to terms with the fact that you can't. Like I'll do everything I can to help as many people as I can, but I've come to terms with the fact that no matter what I do, I can't make them successful because there's some stuff that's going on between their ears.
Correct.
What have you done, because you work with so many people, to shift their mindset to have more success with you than if they went somewhere else without the right mindset? If you're a real estate investor with a sales team and you're stuck babysitting reps instead of growing your business, this is for you. Right now, your reps are burning through your expensive leads like they're practice dummies. They're making costly mistakes you won't catch for weeks, and 70% of your potential revenue is walking to competitors because of inconsistent follow-up. That's why over 130 operators are now using objectionproof.ai to automatically review every single call within minutes, train reps with AI roleplay sessions, and never miss another follow-up. Stop watching your competitors pull ahead while you're trapped doing manager work. Click the link in the description and book a call with my team to see how we can help you install a self-managing sales team this week.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's some culprits, between the ears that usually pop up, fear, self-doubt, all those things. So what I've done over the years, I'm like, so I teach some non-negotiables when we kick off a training. I'm like, let's just spend a half an hour on some non-negotiables. This is who you are, how you operate before we even talk about getting deals. And what I tell them is simply this: if you can become incredibly good at your workflow and your process, and you can attack a city 34 ways, and just do your job, then the deals happen on the back end. So what I tell them, I go, I'm personally relieving you of worrying about getting a deal. And what I like to do is say, hey, the moment you say, let me run some comps, I want to make sure I'm doing a deal correctly. The moment you do that, I usually smile and we go, hey, good news. I just locked up that contract. Try again tomorrow. Because you overthinking. And so I tell them, if you just get good at the process, which is he or she makes the most offers wins. I go, if you understand that you need to get to the disagreement in price as fast as possible, because that's just a natural flow of creating a relationship. And then if you know multiple different ways to bridge the gap and find common ground and get a contract, which is how contracts end up at the title company, then all of a sudden I'll show you a person that's actually running a predictable business. So what I do is I tell them, you don't have to worry about getting a deal, because that's what everybody does. And that's what people getting started do. I don't want you to live in that world. Let's live in a world where no one's going to run my process better than me, and no one's going to make more offers than me, knowing that I won't get every offer accepted, but I know 14 different ways to bridge the gap. And like one example, I guess, a good example for everybody that watches this would be if you understand that a seller's, I'm going to use easy numbers. Seller always wants 100 and you're at 80. It's going to happen every time. Most investors will say, I'll follow up with you. If anything changes, could you call me back? I'm interested. That's all they got, right? So if you understand nuances and wrinkles, that it's natural to be different, apart on price, but you do little things like, I just appreciate you're not using a realtor to save money. In fact, I don't buy every house. I'll help you market your home for free. All I ask is if anybody you know ever wants to sell easily, quickly, just think of us. And then when they say yes, I will market their property, get 3 or 4 people interested at above what they wanted. So now I'm making money out of thin air on property I don't have under contract yet. So when somebody's getting started, I just simply say, you're so worried about, for lack of a better phrase, and for those of you who know me, I speak in these terms, you're so worried about hammering a seller on why they need to accept your price versus becoming the most valuable to them, which is when they decide to do business with you. If I can just relieve you of that and stop worrying about getting deals and just master the process, then I'll show you somebody that can do this full time, because this doesn't have to be hard.
Yeah. So we've detached emotions from this. Right? Just do the activity. Let's just focus on doing the activity.
Correct.
Everything else will take care of itself.
100%. Yeah. Yep.
So then, which is fantastic. Because I think there is a lot of the burnout, a lot of the fears happens because they're overthinking it.
Oh, yeah.
So then I'll take it one step further.
Why don't we develop a pill that says, take this overthinking pill and you just don't overthink anymore, and I'll show you tons of people that are going to do it full time, right?
I mean, one of the things that we've said before is like, there are so many people way dumber than you, way more successful than you.
I say the same thing. I'm like, it's not the smartest person in the room. It's the person that's going to do their job and not overthink.
Right.
I go, and some of us, there's classic process overthinkers, and they want to make sure they're doing it right, which I applaud. But the person that'll just do exactly what you teach them to do, or I teach them to do, and just follow it, will end up winning.
Those are my favorite people, by the way.
By far.
Yeah.
By far.
So you have also become a master of processes. How did you become a master of processes, but not be an overthinker? Because I think like there's a lot of overlap between being good at processes and thinking too much.
Yep. 100%. So the way I solved that, because I am a classic, telling on myself, I'm a classic overthinker, folks. And so it's just how I work. And so what I did was I mapped out the process, and I would have a meeting with my team once a month. And it was just a half an hour meeting called Not Good Enough. And so what we would do is we would look at a process like, how can we make it better? And at the risk of failure, we would test things out that we didn't know if it would work or not, just to see if we could streamline the process. And some of it failed, some of it worked. What the byproduct of that was that I told him, I go, effective immediately. None of us overthink. We just throw stuff out there and we'll see if it works or doesn't work, and we'll let the chips fall. And so what we started doing was tracking things in 120-day increments, all the way down to, with 34 different lead flows. Like from some of these larger companies, I get paid to track the performance of different, not all lead flows are created equal, folks. So some are follow up with people for 4 years. Some lead flows come to you and say, make me an offer right now. And so we started tracking all that, and the byproduct of us saying, throw caution to the wind and let's just add one or two little wrinkles, is that the process became better. Some things failed. We know not to do that for the rest of our careers.
Right.
Right. So, and then we documented, we built out mind mapping systems before it was sexy or even popular. And we just follow that path every single time. This type of transaction goes down this corridor. This one goes down this corridor.
Mm-hmm.
And, and we still do that today.
Yeah.
Period.
So, we detach emotions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just do the processes.
100.
So then if they go one step further in offending, the processes and not doing it, what do you do then?
So if they don't follow the process, what do we do?
Yeah, like, hey, like you're supposed to do this much activity every single day, right? You paid me for coaching. I showed you the processes. And now it's not like, hey, I didn't go do these things. Like you're not even doing the processes now.
Correct.
What's that conversation like?
Mine's pretty straightforward. So even on the front end, I'm like, hey, we're going to put this in place. We're going to do things the right way. So you've asked me a question that in a manner that no one's asked me before. So this will be the first time publicly I say this, besides at training, which happens every single time, is that I tell everybody, I'm like, great news. I've mapped out a perfect investor day that you can get done in 2.5 hours. Doesn't take all day to do. You can get more done in 2.5 hours than most investors can get done in 1 week to 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't follow the process and I find out, great news, I'm going to make you famous. And so I tell them all, I'll go Facebook Live and say, hey, follow Charles around. Do the exact opposite of everything he does and you'll be wildly successful. And everybody's like, well, I guess I better follow the process. But we still have people who fall off the wagon.
Right.
I have a gentleman, Jaime out of Houston. Hey, Jaime.
Famous?
Yeah, making him famous. He likes it. He goes, anytime you can make me famous, do it, because the byproduct was now he's doing it full time. Mm-hmm. So he said, hey, admittedly, I wasn't doing, and this was 18 months later, he came back to me, he goes, hey, I'm going to tell him myself. I haven't been following the process and I was getting in my own way. I was overthinking it. He goes, would you help me? And I go, absolutely. And so I said, here's what we're going to do. You're going to meet with somebody on our team. We're going to put what a work week looks like. You're going to do it. Expect not to get a deal, but at the end of the week, I just need you to check every box. Mm-hmm. And then week 2, this is what you're going to do. So we did that for a 3-week runway. And I think he got one under contract that actually closed. But the bigger thing for me was that we clearly saw that he was getting his rhythm. Because I was like, hey, if everybody in town, even the biggest player, makes 100 offers in a week, which to a lot of people that watch this, back, if I can make 100 offers without freaking out, that'd be great. I go, well, if we can get you to 150 offers, what do you think is going to happen? Mm-hmm. I go, if you stop worrying about getting a contract, what happens is some will, some won't, who cares? Right. And I tell everybody that will listen, you're going to make the most money, and I know you know this, you're going to make the most money on the some won't, which is an initial disagreement of price. Everybody likes some will, where they say, let's do it, and you make money. But you're going to make the most money on the some won't if you create the best relationship with them, because when they're ready, those are some of the most profitable deals you'll do. But if you understand that my process dictates I will make the most money on an initial difference in price, then wouldn't you love to just get to the disagreement on price at that point then? Right. Because we know the outcomes when done properly. So just dusted him off. He's been doing it full time now. And, but yeah, so that's what we do. Like, we expect that people are going to still overthink. Like, I remove them from running comps. I go, if we handed you a good deal right now, what's the first thing you do? And I don't say anything, and I button, and invariably, almost every time, somebody will start flying out of their mouth. I run some comps and make sure it's going well. And I'm like, well, if I handed you a good lead and you run comps, somebody else is already creating a relationship with them. Try again tomorrow. Yeah. You run comps later, right, to make yourself feel better. Your process dictates that you always get to the appointment first. And when you teach people that the order you do stuff in truly matters, then you can watch them start to master this process and just realize that this is really just a do my job game. Yeah.
I mean, Bill Belichick, Nick Saban, they've had pretty good careers.
Yep.
And their mottos were both the same: do your job.
Yeah. I mean, 3 words. Do your
job.
do your
You
job.
do the things we know work.
Mm-hmm.
The results will take care of themselves.
Correct. Yeah.
So I heard you say perfect day, 2.5 hours. That's more productive than most investors do in a week.
Correct.
What am I doing in that 2.5 hours?
Oof. How long do we have? So we have it documented. So certain things we're like, hey, if we're going to help you attack a city 34 ways when most investors have 1 or 2 lead flows,
Mm-hmm.
I already know I already know what that looks like. They lose, you win.
Mm.
But how do we deliberately map out a path to do that? Because when you say that, some people will be like, oof, I wouldn't know where to start. So that's what a perfect investor day looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Is so we lay out for everybody. A perfect investor day is centered around what things do we do consistently when we get hired to do 50 properties a month for a company, that other investors are not doing, that produce us again and again, contract opportunity, contract opportunity, contract. So in that perfect investor day, what we tell everybody is that you add 1 new lead flow at a time. So there's certain things that we do over and over and over, and then add one new lead flow. As an example, just one example, I tell everybody, no matter how good you are, so, and I really hope this sinks in, no matter how good you are, somebody can always beat you to a deal. And so then where training and mentorship comes in is if someone, even though you're good and you can beat people to most things, if someone can always beat you to a deal, you can't control that. Because that's the universe that happens, right? So if you can't control that, we teach control what you can control. Mm-hmm. I can't control that I can get to everything first, even though it's been my job for a long time. But what I can control is that on the number 3, 4 website in the world, Facebook, and the real estate groups, I can still verify every morning that nothing's there that I might want, or I might know somebody else that wants it. So I can't control if somebody beat me to a deal, but I can control every morning that while my coffee is still brewing, that I've already gone through each group, which is this fast, just like that, because there's 20 posts. You're done in 10 seconds. I'm verifying, and my mindset stuff, right? Stop looking for a deal. I just verified there's nothing today. Because then I did my job properly. I'm every single morning, without fail, we verify if there's nothing today. And what happens, and I tell everybody, in a calendar year, in all these Facebook groups for real estate, there's easily 8 laydown deals. And the zip code you want, price point you want, you didn't even have to negotiate. But if your process doesn't dictate that you go there first every day, then you're never going to get those deals, right? Yeah. So that's just one. We teach people that, again, tracking the 34 different lead flows, driving for dollars is always a top 4, 5, or 6 out of 34 ways that we grab properties. We do little wrinkles that are a little bit different than just the regular skip trace and cold call, right? But we say, hey, get 25 a week. Here's why. Somebody owns a house and it still looks like that. Somebody owns a house that still looks like that, which is a very good lead. And other investors have probably tried to reach out to them. No fruit for their effort. That's why they still own it. And that's why it still looks like that. So by process of elimination, that's a good lead. Plus, if I do 25 a week at the end of a year, I have a list of 1,000 plus on a list that no one else can buy. Because, I mean, we're here in Arizona. I could buy the same vacant list you did. Neither of us have a competitive advantage over each other.
Exactly.
But if I have a list that no one else can buy, and every single one on that list is a house that has something going on or needs work, that's the most valuable list I have.
Right.
And then we do little things that are just 1% different. Again, tracking this for years, we'll add a note to the property on top of just doing the regular. And I'm just giving you an example of our process. We're like, hey, once a week in our perfect investor day, just get 25 houses. It'll take you half an hour, right? But we'll tag the door with a note. By the way, suffocated in the city without a budget costs you 2 cents. Everybody's like, oh, my marketing budget. So we tag the door with a note that says, call me about your neighbor. Call me about your neighbor, Steve, phone number. Because we know that we'll get a 15 to 20% response rate versus folks you drive for dollars, skip trace, text call, text call, text call. Nothing wrong with that. You'll get deals. But we want to elicit them to call us, right? So, hey, call me about your neighbor because it burns a hole in their brain and we'll get a 15 to 20% response rate and we just flip it.
Yeah.
Call them about my neighbor. Oh, we talked to a neighbor a couple streets over about a house. They said that your street might be a good street to talk to a homeowner. I saw your house. Thank you for calling me.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you want to sell now or 10 years from now, I would love to give you a standing offer. Thanks again for calling me. I didn't have to skip trace. I know it's the right phone number.
Mm-hmm.
Now they know why I wanted to call about the neighbor. We flipped the script on him. We have one gentleman that when I got to that spot where we were teaching, let's do this 1% different and explode our response rate, he stopped class. He goes, hey, I have 11 contracts. I asked Jason one thing to do before I showed up for training. I have 11 contracts. I'm a broker in North Carolina. His name's Chris Collins. And Chris is like, please pay attention. I have 11 contracts. He put it on 20 doors, got one contract. And the other guy goes, yeah, I do need to sell. I have 9 other properties. So he's like, I spent less than $20 and I have 11 contracts. It's just a perfect investor day workflow on stuff that we do consistently. And then we add one of the new 34 lead flows at a time. When that one's running, we do our perfect day and add one more. When that one's running, perfect day, one more. And then you wake up several weeks from now and you have all these lead flows that lead back to your doorstep. The game's over at that point.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I love about this is that there's no thinking required, which prevents overthinking.
Correct.
And also, it's unique, but it's different enough. And how do I put it? You're competing against people that have marketing dollars, right? Like they're out there, they're doing it, and they're all highly effective, right? But if you're starting off, these are things that you can check off, and every single one of these that I've heard so far is a revenue generating activity.
Absolutely. And
Every single one.
Without a big marketing budget.
Right.
Like, do you have to start your car to dominate Facebook groups on real estate? No. Do you even have to get out of bed? No.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, how fast can we do this, folks?
Yep.
Right. And then people start to see, wow, if I have monumental crop coverage over any market I choose, that this doesn't, you can do this without a big marketing budget. Right.
And then I heard you say something earlier, so I want to make sure I didn't forget it.
Sure.
Free direct mail.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of just like glossed over that.
Yes.
What is free direct mail?
Took me 11 years to figure that one out. So again, in the spirit of, hey, Jason, we need 2,000 homes in 84 months. That's called pressure.
Mm-hmm.
I have no choice but to develop different ways to get to off-market property, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what we've figured out over a long amount of time, and you know this, and I'm sure you've said this into the universe multiple times, big players, any city you choose, some of the biggest players that close the most deals do a lot of direct mail. Mm-hmm. They go to sleep on their beautiful satin pillows every night, knowing regular investors aren't really my competition because they're not going to spend $2,000, $12,000, $18,000 a month, even though the big players know it works, right? Mm-hmm. So I always tell people, well, what if you can be in just as many mailboxes as them overnight and they have no competitive advantage over you? And they're like, tell me more. Mm-hmm. And so what we figured out is that we do co-marketing. So a big 6x9, 8x10 postcard, a big postcard. On the front is you. Hey, I'll pay cash for your house, any condition, would love to speak to you. Mm-hmm. On the back, we chop it up into 6 and or 8 squares and find the companies that will market with us and they pay for everything. Mm-hmm. And so what we figured out was what to do, what the scripting is, how to entice them. And I'll give you an example. Like, I guarantee you most people are going to run with this too. You just got, as you know, you got to have the logistics figured out.
Right.
So you've heard of Valpak, right? Mm-hmm. So Valpak shows up in your mailbox, you rip it open, there's 72 local companies that are doing direct mail and seeing if maybe their services you might need and give you a discount, a coupon. Well, we call them all.
So I say, you're basically offering Valpak, but in a different package.
And so the verbiage, which took us a long time to figure out, was that, hey, instead of being one of 72 that you're competing against, that you need to be open just to even be seen, would you like to be one of 6 or 8 on the back of my blah, blah, blah for this amount of price? And I already know that you gave a thumbs up for your coupon to Valpak. Could you email that to me? Mm-hmm. and I'll set all this up. So when we take on a client, all the back end mailing, infrastructure, all those things that would cause people not to do it, as you said, process driven, right?
Mhm.
I already have all that done. As soon as we have 6 or 8 that say yes and give a thumbs up, we get this, comes in, it's mocked up, goes out here, it's ready to go. They bill, you don't have to bill at home. We have all that stuff done. So all you have to do is get 6 or 8 people to say yes. And now all of a sudden, like, you want to see somebody's phone start ringing? Well, what if the biggest player in town closes the most deals, then do a lot of direct mail, but now you're on equal footing
Mhm.
and it doesn't cost you a single penny? You know how powerful you are at that point?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I always speak in terms of he or she who has the most crop coverage wins.
Mhm.
He or she who knows which lead flows produce you the fastest closings. Like the 3 metrics that we track, the most that know which ones pay off the best.
Yeah.
Runs a smoother business, right? So we track biggest equity or spread on the back end, highest level of motivation, fastest conversation and contract. So it's got to rank in all 3 of those in a 120-day increment for it to move up or down 1 or 2 spots.
Mhm.
And I've been tracking that for a long, long time.
Yeah.
So as you know, vacant list, 1,000. There's 2 or 3 that'll probably sell. And you have to swim through that. That's what I call a longer tail closing cycle, right? Nothing wrong with it. Works. We do it as well.
Yeah.
But what if you create a relationship with a junk removal company? Don't you folks at home want leads? At the moment somebody's getting a bid to remove junk, I bet you do,
Yeah.
because they'll say, make me an offer right now. And so we create co-ops with junk removal companies. We have what we do, what we say, what's the benefit to the junk removal company. And I know just one of those relationships is easy. 50 leads that want a contract right now. No competition. So other investors in town don't know that the lead exists right now.
Yep.
They've been told to call us. And the only time we're ever bothered is if they want a contract from us right now.
Mhm.
So I always talk about, I don't have to clog up my CRM with a ton of follow-up if I have the right lead flows coming to me, because not all lead flows created equal.
Exactly. So I want to hit the title of our show. Before we do that, guys, it's been a lot of information here. So comment below your biggest takeaway from today's show so far. And if there's anything you'd like to see more of, less of, just please share in the comments. I do take the time to review every single one of these comments below. So again, take the time to comment below. So Jason, I need to buy a couple of 1,000 houses. My life depends on it.
Mm-hmm.
What are you telling me?
You need to buy a couple 1,000 houses. Your life depends on it, which means it's pretty high priority, right?
Pretty high priority.
I would tell you, you will not run comps. You will make more offers than any human you ever shake hands with, and will help you direct, just an example. Every for sale by owner wants an offer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what if you've been taught just one wrinkle to where, hey, everyone deserves an offer from you and you should expect to get it rejected. And then you can market their home for free. You could do that, like all these different ways to create the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So I would tell you, if you need to close a few thousand properties fast and your life depends on it, you have to have more lead flows coming to your doorstep than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to make just more offers than anybody that you ever lock eyes with or shake hands with. And he or she who does that and knows how to bridge the gap multiple ways, from a difference in price to a common ground contract.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll show you somebody that'll close 2,000 properties. But when you overthink, run comps. Is it a good enough deal? If your exit's wholesale and you don't have multiple ways to find the best cash buyers in the same zip code and you haven't done that,
Mm-hmm.
then that's just a part of your flow or process that's where the breakdown occurs, right?
Yeah.
And so what I would tell you is that you're going to make more offers than everybody else. And when you can get your brain to a spot to where you don't worry about them rejecting your offer and you actually get excited about it because you know what to do,
Mm-hmm.
then all of a sudden, no overthinking.
Right.
Like we teach people that running comps is a part of the process, but it's not part of the beginning process to do this fast. And once you understand that, then all of a sudden, like it's so. I always tell people, wouldn't you love to wake up with the most bone-crushing clarity on how your day's going to go and no one can tell you different? So if you need to do 2,000 properties fast, more lead flows, more offers than everybody else,
Mm-hmm.
and remove yourself from worrying about the outcome, I'll show you a person that's going to end up with a lot of contracts at the title company.
So you talked about earlier the 2.5 hour perfect day.
Mm-hmm.
And then at some point, how long would you say it would take me? Again, my life depends on this.
Yep.
How long would you say it would take me to incorporate all 34 ways to bring leads to get my phone to ring?
Yep. So, well, that's the dirty, that's massive urgency, right? I would tell you that within about 5 months, you could have all 34 up and running.
Okay.
Now, I will tell you from experience doing this when I stepped away from the TV show stuff and the Kiyosaki's. And the reason I did is, Jason, teach this. Don't answer any other questions.
Mm-hmm.
Jason, teach that. Teach flips. Don't answer rental questions. Jason, don't teach lead generation this weekend. Don't you dare teach negotiations. Don't give out your phone number. Don't close deals. So I stepped away 9 years ago because I teach people. I answer one particular subject for 3 days and then that's it. And I don't know if they're executing. So when we started doing this for individuals, I just simply said, hey, I want to see them go through this process and do this the right way. So if your life depended on it, I just simply need you to understand that beginners worry about the process, overthink, run comps, do it running comps is fine, but doing it in the wrong order. Like I would tell you that you're going to make more offers than everybody else, but you also have to focus on the back end. Like nobody keeps every property. Mm-hmm. So some of you, well, I just want to keep them as rentals. Well, some don't fit your criteria. Yeah. So shouldn't you, if you're there first every single time, shouldn't you be able to hand that off to somebody else and make money on it? So I would tell you to button up the front end of the business and then also the back end of the business. Like who's going to pay cash for the stuff that I don't want? Mm-hmm. But that is, in my opinion, if you have the front end and the back end figured out, then you can just run this like a true machine and get to all the lead flows. 5 months, but here's the dirty secret though. Been doing this for 9 years. Most people, and I would see what your thoughts are too, right? Most people say, I'd be over the moon if I could get to 5 contracts a month. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I get paid to do 50. I'm like, I can help you with that, right? Mm-hmm. So what I would tell you is that most clients don't end up at 34. They usually end up at 12, 15, 16, mm-hmm. and they get to 5, 6, 7, 8 contracts a month, and that exceeds their goals. And they're like, oh, okay, this wasn't as hard as I was making it out to be. Yeah. But all 34, I would say it would take you 5 months. Perfect day, add 1. Like some of them take us 10 seconds. Mm-hmm. Like there's 5 ways that we grab deals off of Facebook for free, right? Yeah. So each of those take 10 seconds. So in your perfect day, that really doesn't chew up any of your time, right? Yeah. Some of them take 5 minutes to set up. And now you're just 2 minutes of management. Some of them take 2 days to set up. And then running your perfect day and just running things week over week takes you 10 minutes of management. Mm-hmm. But now all of a sudden you have all these lead flows when people you say, I'm going after pre-foreclosures. Mm-hmm. And that's all they have. Like you already have a competitive advantage. So I would tell you 5 months to get to all 34.
Okay. So put my head down, grind. I'm not doing anything else but buying houses. 5 months, I'll have all 34 built out.
Oh yeah.
Okay, perfect. Now, out of 34, there's gotta be one that you like more than any other, or at least a lead gen source or something else. Mm-hmm. Right? We got the 80-20 rule. Like you want to do all 34. And I highly recommend you guys watching this. I do recommend doing all 34 because why not?
Why not?
But there's got to be like, one that has a place in your heart over all the other ones.
Yeah. So again, this is where I go back to the engineer brain. Like data never lies. Data tells the truth. Mm-hmm. Even though I might like one versus another, the data never lies. The data always tells me the truth. In any city that we track it in 120-day increments, I would tell you that one of my favorite lead flows of all time is delinquent property tax homeowners. Mm-hmm. So those just, first of all, they're running out of time by law. Yeah. States want their money. So all 50 states have rules in place that says if you miss property tax payments, you're on the clock. Mm-hmm. And so there's a high level of motivation as far as that goes, right? So we've been fine tuning that lead flow because we track it and that one just consistently kept winning. So we're like, well, since it's winning, let's test this 70 different ways. Mm-hmm. Since this one's always ranking towards the top. And by the way, anything that I say is a top 10 when like you said, hey, how long would it take to get the 34? Hey, 5 months if we're just doing one at a time. We know which order to do them in, right? Because we track that. So delinquent property tax is always number 1 or number 2 in any city, almost without fail.
Yeah.
And not all leads are created equal, right? As an example, if they're going to lose their house at tax sale and have $0 to show for it, shouldn't they know you exist?
Absolutely.
Right? So without a doubt. So what we've done is we've gone and done a deep dive on the tax delinquent because of what it produces. And that's one of our favorite lead flows. As an example, most investors, as you know, would I always tell everybody, any city you choose, there's at least 30 investors that are smart enough to go after delinquent property tax homeowners. So I applaud them for that. But when we start doing build outs for people, our build outs, and we get to this tax technique, we tell them, hey, let them all do that. Because they say a variation of this, which I know you know, Steve. Hey, before you lose your house at tax sale, I'd like to talk to you about putting some cash in your pocket. They all say the same thing. So what we did is, over the last 12 years, is we developed a national program that is built around understanding each state's tax sale laws, and created a tax advocacy company that says, hey, we're going to educate you on what the tax sale process is for your state and county. We don't think this process is fair. And give us, we call it the 2-2-3 method. Give me 2 minutes and tell me what your situation is, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Give us 48 hours, the second 2 days. Give us 48 hours, and we have 3 separate ways to help you. We exist because we don't think this process is fair. And what happens is the homeowners feel comfortable talking to you when everyone else in town is saying, hey, before you lose your house at tax sale, let me put some cash in your pocket.
Yeah.
Right? Blows my mind. So what we understood was that if we educate them on what the process is, and we have a very this is the most deliberate process that we have. Our tax delinquent technique. And in fact, we have its own individual tax technique that we love. And so we educate them, give us 2 minutes, give us 48 hours. We have 3 separate ways to help you. What we figured out in testing was this, Steve. We started getting all the phone calls, and then I became a regular investor, which means testing failed, make it better. So we started getting all the phone calls because we sent them a tax assistance letter that's kind of something like this. Hey, we noticed you're behind on your state property tax. At our tax care organization, we help pull funds together to pay those delinquent taxes for those who qualify. If you'd like to see if you're eligible, call us at reference tax assistance code, TAC, blah, blah, blah. And blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go down the whole list, but they call us and say, hey, tell me about your program. Give me 2 minutes. Tell me how you got behind. Give us 48 hours. And so we start getting all the phone calls. I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
This is amazing. But I went straight into, hey, you're going to lose it, so we don't want to see it. I'd like to buy it. And they're like, oh, you're just like every other investor. So we went back to the drawing board and said, okay, can't lead that way. So we're like, why don't we educate them and give them other ways that we could help them still make some money, whether we buy their house or not.
Yeah.
And also leaving them with a standing offer. So what we did is we developed that over years and years, and the phone rings, they want to talk to it. And it's real simple. Purify this in our conversation. Do you think a homeowner that's missed property tax payments wants to talk to a real estate investor or a tax care company? I'll let you at home let that rattle around. I mean, you know the answer, Steve. They want to talk to a tax care company that's going to tell them what the rules are, give them multiple options, and then they just end up choosing options. So by far, it's our favorite lead flow. And if you go after the right ones, and was talking before we came on here, I'll just use my county as an example, Pinellas County in St. Pete, Florida. 14,000 people have missed their property tax payments. 14,000.
Wow.
We don't go, so what we've developed over the years is we don't go after all 14,000. That's what we call a waste of time, new investor waste of time. What we do is we've drilled down to a few different metrics that drill that list down to about 10%. And those are the ones with 93% accuracy or free and clear. If they're free and clear, and they haven't solved their tax problems because they can't unlock their equity. So we help them unlock it multiple different ways.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot you said there that was really valuable.
Yeah.
The one that I want to highlight is we believe this process is unfair. And the reason why I want to highlight that is that you and I can hate each other all day, every day, until there is a mutual enemy that we both want to defeat.
Oh, I love it. Yep. So we make everybody else in town, the state, every other investor in town, the big bad wolf.
Yeah. Like right now, you can make a pretty strong argument that Iran and us were not on the same page. Pretty strong argument about that, right?
Yep.
Come an alien invasion, we're on the same team.
Yeah, we're best friends again.
Yeah.
Just like that. Right.
Right. So just the part where you're like, yeah, this is what's happening and it's unfair and we want to help you deal with that. It's like, oh, yes, please. Doesn't matter what's going on. We got a mutual enemy.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Let's take it one step further. Some states, as you're listening, look it up for your state. Some states have a redemption period. That means the homeowner was in denial all the way to tax sale and they lost it, but they can redeem it back.
Yeah.
So inside that training that we do, I tell them, I'm like, one of my favorite things to do is instead of going to the tax sale where you have to have the money to make the bid to win, to buy it at tax sale, right? I have the same list that those people have going to tax sale. We just call them all and say, hey, you lost your house at tax sale today. And they're like, what the heck? Who the heck are you? Hey, we don't think this is fair. I've talked to multiple people today. 8 out of 10, they didn't know either. We know what the rules are. We'd like to help you rip it back, pay all fines, penalties, and because we're interested in it. And instead of having $0, we'll put money in your pocket. And the person that stole it at tax sale can jump in a lake if you're interested.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm interested. And so we have the favorite lead flow. Like there's so many different ways that we can become best friends with the property owner and make everyone else in town the big bad wolf.
Yeah.
And it becomes easy to solve their problems. And remember, we only go after the ones with 93% accuracy or free and clear, which means you could do almost any real estate transaction because we don't go after all the delinquent property tax homeowners.
Yeah. Yeah. You're shooting with a sniper rifle versus a shotgun.
Yeah. And to put a nail in the coffin, the final nail, if you go after ones, I'll just give you one example. When we drill down and go to the right ones. You folks at home understand that if a bank has a mortgage on a property and they find out that the homeowner missed a tax payment, tax sales wipe out the mortgages. So that means these mortgage companies would already foreclose. So if we go after the right ones, multiple years behind, the bank would have already foreclosed. So now I'm zeroing in on the ones that I know are free and clear, and these people can't unlock their equity, so they need help the most. And it's easy to become a professional investor that solves problems for the homeowners that actually need it the most when done properly, when everyone else in town is kind of doing your job for you. Hey, I'll buy your house, and before you go to tax sale, I'll buy it. Let them do that. There's a much more sophisticated way to get them to want to speak to you.
Right. A lot more collaborative approach.
Yes.
And then you do have something, I'm seeing here, noflippingexcuses.com/Steve. What is that?
So my favorite lead flow we just talked about, right? If you go to noflippingexcuses.com/Steve, we will give you a discount. So if the stuff that we're talking about right now, and specifically speaking, the tax delinquent, so it's called the tax delinquent blueprint, you just go to noflippingexcuses.com/Steve, and we'll give you a discount and we'll set up the whole thing. We'll set up your whole tax care company. Exactly what letters go out, our messaging, our 223 method, the scripts, all of that. And we'll build out your online presence, your tax care company website, your logos, help you decide on your company name. And then when a homeowner is behind, they're going to talk to a tax care company once you reveal yourself to the marketplace versus a real estate investor. So we would love to get you set up, show you how it's done, and help you close deals.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I am pretty sure one of my mentees was going against one of your mentees on a transaction some time ago. because he was sending me all these documents, like, hey, like here's where I'm up against. Like, this is brilliant. But the tax care help, we're going to help you save your home from a tax foreclosure and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking, I was like, that's pretty good. Yeah. It reminded me of, I mean, there's a program I went through. God,
A lot of trial and error, Steve.
yeah.
100 iterations of that letter.
I want to say like maybe like 2009, 2010, back when I was doing short sales.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, man, like this, like I was looking at the letters, like this takes me back when I was doing saving your house from foreclosure, just
Yep.
all that stuff. So it's really,
Yep.
really impressive. And then you had a friend that did thousands of transactions using the things that you taught him.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about like what was that scenario? Like it was a hedge fund or something?
I'm filming this video for the man himself, Mr. Ian Ross. The guy crushes. The guy's the best person in sales I've ever seen. I've invested elsewhere and I haven't got the same results. I've gone from being a seller, making 5K a month, to being a hybrid role, making 11K a month, to now be 4 months down the line from 5K to on a closing opportunity, inbound, full calendar, with the best opportunity, the best offer in my space. OTE is around 20K a month from month 2. So I've gone from 5K to 20K. If that's not a return on your investment, I don't know what is, man. If you're a salesperson and you don't invest in sales training, you're gonna get left behind because your job is to be better at sales. And sales training directly makes you more money.
If you like what you just heard and would like similar types of success, text CLOSE to 33777. And we'll see if you qualify to join Objection-Proof Selling. We're taking good sales reps and we're making them objection-proof.
Yeah. So when I say these larger companies, it's what we call, let's, peel back the onion. So everybody hears in today's marketplace hedge funds, and that's essentially what they are. But what these hedge funds do is they get, they invest in $100 million in copper, $50 million in overseas technology, and then $100 million or $50 million, whatever it may be, big numbers in real estate. And then they give a return to the people that invested in their hedge fund. I think everybody kind of knows that part. So what I've done for a long time is work with the city operators. So the hedge fund will decide on a city and say, okay, we're going to set up shop here. And it's usually 3 cities like, Dallas, San Antonio, Houston. And they're like, hey, we need 4,000 homes in 90 months, whatever it may be. And they hire a city operator, somebody who's already doing a bunch of deals there. A lot of times they have property management experience because they want to get all the property and get them bought, fixed up, rented, mature them for 2 years, and then sell them to places like Blackstone. So like one individual, my buddy Joe, he's a city operator. He did 9,000 properties in about...
Outrageous number.
Yeah, it's crazy. In 6 years. Like the gravity of it, so we set up some things in place to help them with the marketing, all the stuff we've been talking about, right? Yeah. And they had to get to a lot of property. Like they were making thousands of offers a month. So things that would freak you out at home. They were rehabbing 200 properties at a time. He had 6 full-time employees. So it's the funniest thing to me because I can't even wrap my head around it.
Only 6.
No. He had 150 employees, but 6 full-time employees that just turn on and off utilities.
Oh.
Let that sink in. Hey, what do you do for a living? I turn on and off utilities. Like that is like, and so he can't do that without deliberate process, right? We even, sat around laughing at how fast they make offers. He spent $1 million. Again, just kind of giving you the landscape here. He spent $1 million just developing some software before everybody was talking about AI. I'm talking 8, 9, 10 years ago. That all it would do every single day, 24 hours a day, is evaluate new properties that came on the MLS. It would scan all the photos because it already had the metrics in the areas that they like. Scan the photos and give it a grade of an A, B, or C, and based upon that, just boom, shoot them an offer. Like it would literally come on the MLS for 1 second and it already generated an offer.
Yeah.
Like unbelievable. So if it was an A property, they would offer a little more. If it was C, they'd offer less, but it was doing it automatically, which is big because quite frankly, they had to make 2,000 offers a month. Right. So yeah, work with people like that for a long time. And then, I always say, I'm not magical. I just use their big budgets to test tax delinquents 100 different ways. How do we engage for sale by owners? Because every for sale by owner deserves an offer from our company.
Mm-hmm.
Are we just going to skip 2 of them? That doesn't make sense to me, right?
Yeah.
So that's just use their big budgets to drill down how to suffocate cities 34 ways without a budget. Mm-hmm. And by far, if done correctly, the flagship lead flow is delinquent property tax homeowners by far.
Yeah. Well, and everything you're saying makes like complete sense. You know, like we don't really talk about it a lot, but the fact that it was property tax delinquent, it means that the bank has not foreclosed on it because there is no mortgage in place.
Correct. This is my favorite.
Yeah. So I think it's not really mentioned enough, but yeah, I think that's because I see these guys out there that teach like tax liens, or like go buy tax liens. Like, not really.
We make them the big bad wolf, quite frankly.
How does that work?
Hey, you know somebody bought a tax lien, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're banking on you doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to wait the proper amount of time for whatever state, 2 years, and like in Florida, 2 years,
mm-hmm.
where I live in Florida. You buy the tax lien and you wait 2 years and you force a tax sale and they get their return on investment.
Yeah.
I go, you understand that they don't want to speak to you.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to help you. They're banking on you doing nothing. Your house gets sold. You end up with nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
They're banking on that. Can I give you some options here? And so I always say buying a tax lien, nothing wrong with it. Tax, some states you can do overages. Those are good techniques to help a homeowner make money. I'm not saying that, but wouldn't you like to get there first?
Yeah. Well, it's
like we're always there first, because before that stuff happens, we're already there.
Yeah. It's not what I always say is like, it's not a strategy if you're trying to build wealth. Now, if you're wealthy, buy them all.
Buy them all. Yeah.
All right. Get
and make a little bit of, make a little return.
Every once in a while you buy a house, but not like the way it's pitched as a product. So you're clearly passionate about the processes. You've coached tens of thousands of people, which I can't think of very many people who have coached tens of thousands of people.
Yeah.
Why do you do what you do?
Oh, that's easy for me. I have it on my phone right here in the pocket. Helping somebody do this full time
mm-hmm.
and quit their job or quit whatever they're doing. Way back when I got feedback, they would write letters in, and then the home offices would send to me. They're like, "Hey, tell Jason thank you. I finally quit." Helping somebody do this full time and quit, and then I say control your calendar, because that means everything. Whether you like to go to sporting events or take more vacations with your family, that means you're putting that on the calendar. So I say, hey, if I can help you control your calendar 100% of the time because you do this full time and you're free, I love that. So watching people see that they can do it where they used to overthink. And I know some people at home are resonating with, Jason's speaking to me because I pull comps 50 times to make myself feel better, right? Mm-hmm. Well, we can eliminate that. So helping them do it full time. I have a guy on my phone right now. He wanted to quit being a firefighter. Robert Haggerty, how you doing? Mm-hmm. And he left me a voicemail 4 months later. He goes, hey, closed 5 transactions, made this amount of money, kept 2 of them like you taught me to do, where I taught him to do some sandwich financing stuff, and he just Airbnb'd them out. Mm-hmm. He's like, hey, I'm full time. Thank you. So that's the reason I do it. And I told you, I tried to retire. My family's like, we can't go golf with you. Like, 2 of my sisters run Dairy Queen franchises. 2 of my brothers are insurance adjusters. Like, just go back to helping people. You like doing that. Yeah. So that's it for me, is helping somebody see that they can do it full time and help their family and live the life they want. That, like, I can't, like, if you could put that in a bottle and I could buy it, I would buy it.
Yeah.
And so I love putting people in a position to do that.
Mm-hmm. What's important about that? Like,
wow, you're really hitting me here.
Yeah.
So, I grew up, I'm the oldest of 6, and we didn't have much. I used to get I'm dating myself again. We used to get the free lunch tickets because my family didn't have very much money. So I would get free lunches at school. I get made fun of, this and that. And I vowed that I'm going to do stuff and be free, and I'm going to help people not feel that way.
Mhm.
So that's kind of a driving thing for me, is that I'm an example, I guess, of somebody who didn't have all the means, but was willing to marry himself to the process and being the best that I could personally be for myself.
Mhm.
And once I saw that that was all process driven, then I went crazy with it. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, well, I can do this and I can document it. And I'm not magical, so I know if I can do it, like I know if I can do it with the resources that I didn't have, that anybody that wants to do this full time can do it. So it's just like I have a gentleman that was a truck driver, and his wife actually was on the road with him truck driving, helped him close transactions, and he, as you know, you've been around long enough that he's been through other programs and whatever. And I go, hey, I'll help you. I will help you close transactions. I promise you.
Mhm.
And him and his wife, Amber, they closed their first transaction within like 60 days. And he sent me the picture from the truck. I'm like, that's why I do this.
Yeah.
Like, so, but, you know, I wish I had people helping me sooner in my career than I had. And so I know what the value of that looks like.
Yeah. Well, and I appreciate it. I mean, a lot of this resonates with me. Also the oldest of 6.
All right.
And I there's like memories, right? Of like, no, we can't afford that. Like, we can't have that. Like, just all those, we can't do this. We can't have that. That's for other, like all those conversations. Like, I will never say those words, right?
Yep.
So
I love that, by the way.
yeah.
I mean, I had a Peter Pan lunchbox when everybody else had Dukes of Hazzard lunch. They're like, is your lunchbox shaped like a sandwich? And I got ridiculed. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to let anybody, no matter where they're at, like I take that stuff personally.
Well, I mean, there's still like, I remember I had a very heated conversation with my wife, right? We were buying shoes for our kids, and she's the same, right? Like, she grew up not very well off either.
Yeah.
And you know, we were buying shoes for our kids for school, and then she's like doing that whole deal where you buy it a little bit bigger, right? Because that's the way it was. Because this has to last you the whole school year.
Yeah. Put some newspaper in there.
Yeah. And I remember and I told her like, no, we're not doing that. We're gonna buy shoes that fit. And she's like, what's wrong with you? Like, why are you so like angry about this? Like, because I remember hating having to buy shoes that were too big, that eventually you might fit in it.
Correct.
But we don't even know we'll even make it that far, right? So,
well, yeah, and what if by the time you grow into them, everybody's like, those are the old shoes, right? Oh yeah. I feel your pain.
So yeah, so it was a very heated argument. She's like, what's wrong with you? Like, why are you so passionate about this? Like, I vowed that I would never do that to my kids.
Yep.
Right. So it's just these things that that resonate.
I love that.
So then, for you, what do you want to be remembered for?
Letting people know that it's in the real estate investment sandbox that it's okay to start wanting to do it and overthinking, but that it's a choice to remain thinking that way. And so I want people to remember me for getting them out of their own way, and helping them do this full time. Like, that is, I feel like that's been my purpose. Like I said, 25 years plus doing this. I love it. And, but just helping them understand that, if you master the process and you don't worry about a contract or the outcome, that you can do this full time without question.
Yeah. What is your biggest struggle today?
My biggest struggle, I would tell you, it's, and I have certain goals of properties that I want to own in certain places, and this is me just being hard on myself, right? Is that I just want to pay cash for them all. I could get them all tomorrow, but selfishly, I just want to pay cash for them all. You know, because some people want to leverage and finance. I've been in banking for 28, 29, 30 years. I just want to pay cash for stuff. So my biggest thing is that the places that I want to buy, like south of Spain, Thailand's my favorite place. It's my favorite food, favorite people that I've ever met in my life. So I want to have a place there. Southern California place, already got the Colorado Breckenridge place, Florida places, St. Louis. So I struggle with, should I finance it or pay cash? And promise you folks, I spend way too much time thinking about which direction I want to go. So that's a personal struggle for me.
Yeah, no, I understand that. What is your superpower?
Everybody comes to me and say, hey, show me how to suffocate a city 34 ways without a budget.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what I've been known for. But I feel like my superpower, besides that stuff, is my favorite thing to teach people is understand you're going to disagree on price. Let me show you 14 different ways to find common ground. That's one of my favorite things. That's my favorite skill set to impart to somebody else. Mm-hmm. So I feel like process and because that's the same thing. They say this, you do this. Like as an example, if you said to me, hey, Jason, thanks for the conversation, but my house isn't for sale. Then I would say, I understand that, Steve. Totally get it. Even if I can overpay. If we like an area, this is one of two that we love. If you tell me what you want, I might be able to meet it. So even if I could overpay. And so I love teaching people how to find common ground or get past the initial objections.
Yeah.
So that's what I feel like my superpower is.
That might be time for a whole different episode.
Yeah.
Which lesson did you learn the most from? Which failure, did you learn your biggest lesson from?
Oh, that's easy. In this real estate investment sandbox, I started out getting 4-family, 2-family was cash flow. And I'm like, this is great. They're going up in value. I'm like, I'm a super investor. I'm like, I'm going to flip. I put on a flipping cape, right? And I'm going to flip this house. And it took too long. Did not know what I was doing. Most people that are even getting started know, hey, maybe fix the roof first before you start doing drywall. I did everything in the wrong order, right? Because I hadn't done it before. I tried to sell it. Thought I was going to make $80,000. This was in St. Louis, by the way.
Price of a house.
Huh?
That's the price of a house.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, it's in certain spots of St. Louis. That's amazing cash flow in St. Louis. But 1952 Wyoming, St. Louis, Missouri. You can look it up. Why I remember addresses, I don't know why, but couldn't get it sold. So it was on the market for a month, 2 months. I had somebody offer me an offer, and I could have made $25,000. I'm like, I want to make more than that. And so the learning part was I was stubborn, should have taken the money and refined the process, right? But I was stubborn. Market softened just a little bit, and people were offering me what I had into it. I'm like, ah. So then as we started the show with, I went to a gentleman that does lease options. I'm like, hey, this isn't working out for me. I don't think I'm a flipper. And I went through it, and he goes, yeah, you're the opposite of a flipper. And I go, awesome. Thanks for the flogging. I said, show me how to do lease option. So my biggest learning experience and failure was trying to flip a house and being too stubborn instead of taking the money when it was staring me in the face, thinking that I could just wait it out. And I had to learn that lesson. I had to hold it for 7 years. It ended up working out okay because I had 2 people not perform, took more money down. It went up over time.
Yeah.
But on that first flip, I'm like, okay, so I'll be homeless. I'll just be living under an overpass. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'll come back from this. But that was a big learning experience for me.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, that was early on. What book have you gifted more than any other?
Never Split the Difference.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the one I've handed out more than any other book.
Yeah. I remember when I read it back in 2017. Man, it's been a long time now. I gave that book to so many people.
Yeah.
It was earth-shattering when it came out.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's awesome.
It's a good book.
I want you to think about some last thoughts you want to leave all the listeners with. Guys, again, if you got a ton of value, hit that subscribe button. Share this with someone that you believe could definitely use this information. And then you guys want to check out Jason's product. It's noflippingexcuses.com/Steve. What last words would you like to leave all the listeners with?
This one, we got so many things we could talk about. You try and sum it up. The thing that I've tried to impress upon people that want to do this full time and And if you're already doing it, closing some deals and you want to grow it bigger, which there's no reason you can't, is that I need you to understand that not all lead flows are created equal. Some take a long time to close. Some people aren't motivated whatsoever. So I always tell people to self-assess, where do you want to spend your time building your company that has a predictable workflow with closings every single month? So I would tell everybody, focus on lead flows that are lightning fast. Like if you're getting a lead from a junk removal company, that homeowner wants an offer today. There's no follow-up. You don't have to go to a real estate investor meeting and talk about what CRM do you have. Mm-hmm. They want an offer right now and then just negotiate to a price. So if not all lead flows are created equal, just go after the ones that have higher levels of motivation, higher payoff on the back end. Like some of my favorites, pre-foreclosures, delinquent property tax by far, code violations, junk removal companies, title companies. Title companies have deals fall apart. Don't you want leads from a title company?
Yeah.
And I tell people, I'm like, think about it. And again, so what I want to leave you with is that not all lead flows are created equal. Do the ones that are lightning fast. Like I tell title companies, hey, you have investment transactions that fall apart. I'll tell you in 24 hours whether or not I'll do it. Folks, when do you get a lead where 100% of the time the seller wants to sell right now and title work's already done? So where are you putting your effort? What I see is a lot of people put effort into getting started stuff, and no one slows them down to say, hey, you can close some deals, but this is a longer gestation period to get to the finish line. So that's what I want to leave everybody with. Focus on focus on the lead flows that produce the most money, and you can help people, and you don't have to close as many transactions. And I'll show you somebody that's fast tracking doing this full time.
Yeah, that's awesome. If somebody want to get a hold of you, what's the best way to do that?
Well, if you want to get a hold of me, you could just shoot me a text message, 314-749-3737, or you could email me, jason@goseejason.com.
So just be prepared. You get a lot of text messages.
I'm used to it.
Perfect. Sounds good. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Hey, no problem.
Appreciate
Enjoyed it. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
Shout out
Bye-bye.
to Steve Train. Jump on the Steve Train. Disruptors.